Hey, what's up, guys? Just want to do a quick video on the new free game, Sniper Elite 4, come out this month. I know a lot of you guys are going to be playing it, and if you're anything like me, you're going to want to play it on Authentic Plus or Authentic. I just like to play everything on the hardest difficulty I can, and you don't get this little diamond when you use it. You don't get that, right? So you're going to be worried about this wind gauge right here. This little tick that's on his head right now. That's your wind gauge. That tells you how much wind you got and which way it's blowing from. So we got a wind coming across our left shoulder to our right shoulder. It's coming right across our face. And it's right almost at this first click. There we go. Good wind. So if the wind is at that first click, and we know, because I'm telling you, this is going to be accurate at 100 meters. So this is going to be exact. So wherever this wind gauge is at 100 meters, if it's on that first tick, your tick on your crosshair, if you're using the number 4 special or maybe the T-post tactical, you're going to want to find where your first tick is. For me, my first tick is right about there. If you look right there, right between his eyes, see, it's going to be right on the very tip of that line. Poking out to the right there. It's going to be right there on the tip, and most of the time it's going to be in between, right there in between. I just like to I like to aim just for the tip. If you put the tip just right there in the middle of his head, you're going to hit him, because sometimes it depends. The wind is a little weird at some points. It'll tell you that. It'll be, see, like right now, if it's just before. If it's just before that first tick mark, like it is right now, it's going to be somewhere around right there on the point. So it's going to be, if you just use that point, that's where it's going to go. Especially if you have your 0 set to 100. I always I don't keep it on 0, because if you're aiming at 100 meters, it's going to be accurate at 50. And see, look, it's still low. Still low. But if you put it on 100, watch what happens. It's far more, you're far more closer to the heart. You're further from the heart here than you are at 100 meters. So you're going to be more accurate even at 50 if you just keep it on 100. Even in multiplayer, every time you play multiplayer, if you play one that's you have bullet drop, you just want to constantly keep turning it to 100, and it's hard to remember sometimes. But like if you say a guy's at 100 meters, we know that because from the tip of his head and the crosshair to his feet, he fits in it, so that's 100. Head to dick is 50. Head to feet 100. Head to dick 50. So if you keep it on 0, look how low that's going to be. That's way off. You're already way off. You might hit him in the heart, but you don't want to go for the heart. You want to go for the head. And see, it's just past the tick, so we're out in the middle now. If it was just before the tick, it would be right here in the middle, right where I got it in between his eyes, and it just went that way. See, if it's just before it, it's going to be right there. So now that we know that this is exact at 100, if we go to 200 meters, it's going to be double that. So it should be right here on the tip of this tick. If it's right before, it's most likely going to be in the middle. It's right over, so it's going to be right there, pretty far over. At 200 meters, if you are going for a shot at 200 in Authentic Plus, I would go for a body shot. And see, it's right before, so it's going to be right in the middle, right past the middle. If it's right over just a little bit, see how far just a little bit goes at 200 meters? So you're going to want to go for a body shot. If you keep it right there on his left shoulder, and it's right over, and you're going to want to keep an eye on your wind too. You get a heart shot. You're going to either get a heart or a lung shot every time, and that's going to be an instant kill. 300 meters. If you're a multiplayer, go for it, because you know you got this diamond. If you're on Authentic, to me, I wouldn't make any shot over 300 in Authentic. To be honest, I wouldn't make a shot over 100. I try to keep from going over 100 meters in authentic. The wind's not much, but you see how it's half? Right now our wind's at half. Let's see, we can turn this down real quick so I can show you. It's kind of easier when the wind's not as strong.
This range will let me get a feel for the rifle. Reckon I'm
We go
about
right
ready
up.
to begin.
There we go. Now we've got it just a little bit over half. So a little bit over half. There we go. That's what we want. That's gonna be dead accurate. Well, if I keep it adjusted right. Anywhere if you have a wind that's very light, it's not going over a half tick, which a half tick would be in between your middle crosshair and your first tick, your middle and your first. So if it's not really going over half very much, so that's considered a light wind. If it's staying around where it's at right now, but it's going up to the first one, it's a medium wind. Because sometimes just because you're aiming this way, this range is set up so you have a crosswind. If you go over here and you aim this way, your wind's gonna be straight at you, so you don't have any wind. If you're in Authentic Plus and you can get a position on somebody and you want to make that long shot, you want to get to where either your wind's facing with you or your wind's coming straight at you, because it's not going to have much of an effect on your bullet. Where's that flag at? There we go. See that flag? It's flying straight across this range. They do that because this game's made pretty good, in my opinion. Other than the melee and multiplayer, but I think we all know that sucks. But we have just a light wind. Most of the time, it's gonna be accurate. Even at 200, it's gonna be right there at the tip. It's gonna double. 200, a light wind. 200 is where you're gonna want to start worrying about wind. And I have a quick tip on leading. I wanna jump into real quick. Okay, so we've started out a solo survival. We're playing as the old man. You know, he's the veteran. He knows the most. And we're going to use the knowledge that we know now, and we're going to make all of our shots without using the diamond. So we've got a wind coming in from the west over here. When we look west, you can see the wind. There is not much wind. When we look over here towards the south, we have a whole bunch of wind. So we got some guys coming in from the west, northwest right now. And we got some guys over here to our east. So as a sniper, we've set up in the position that gives us the best advantage. And it doesn't have as much wind resistance. So we've got some guys coming in here. So the wind's not going to affect us much. We're going to set up to 100, and we're just going to put it right on his chin. So these shots are going to hit just a little high. They'll do that at 100. If you have it 50, they will hit just a little high if they're closer than 50. We get a shot off right there. We know the wind's pushing to the left, so we can actually push it around that obstacle. We got some guys out this way. Let's see if we can get some shots in. Just a little bit of wind. And I'm just using zoom right now. I know you can't use it in Authentic Plus. Oh, out of ammo. Fuck. That's not veteran of you. In Authentic Plus, you can't use zoom, so I normally use the Mosin Nagant. It's got a 6x zoom on it, factory. But in multiplayer, you're gonna want to use that zoom as much as you can. But I'm using it right now. It's easier. It's easier to use when you're not using the diamond, because in Authentic you can hold your breath and not see the diamond. In this, if I was to hold my breath, you could just say, "Oh, well, you're just using the diamond. We're not using the diamond. We ain't about that life. We're pros, so we know what we're doing here. We got some guys coming in close. We're gonna John Wick them up. Get that chest. Got some meat shots on them. I got 4 people left here. Starting to get a little boring. Yeah, we can get John Wick these guys up. See if we can get a sticky kill. Gotcha. Now we'll put one through these guys. Now granted, he was probably at about 50, so I'm set to 100. But there's close range sniping here. There we go. So I'm gonna do one wave, time's sake. We did it. We've achieved. I'm gonna do a separate video on. I'm just gonna run a solo survival, so it's shorter. We'll see how far we can get without using a diamond. We'll start out in that house again, and then maybe we'll see if we can move over here and get some more wind. But I hope it helps all you authentic players out there, all you hardcore guys. Multiplayer quick scopes are real, you know, watch out for that. But other than that, I hope it helps, and have a great rest of your day, guys. Peace out.